All right. Everyone, please make sure you are on mute. Attorneys, if you can make sure that you add to your name the name of your client and whether or not it's criminal trial division or family violence. If you're unsure of how to do that, just go to participants, click on your name and click on rename and add your client's name and add whether or not it is criminal trial division or family violence. Everyone, happy Monday. This is the 187 District Court. The weather is not great, but as my mom always tells me, April showers bring May flowers. These are the rules of the 187 District Court. You are in a courtroom. If you behave inappropriately on this Zoom, no questions asked, your Zoom privileges will be revoked. So what does that mean? To all the inmates, you're not allowed to use the chat box. You're not allowed to use the internet. If you do any of those things, you will be sent back to your cell. To everyone who's on bond, if you are at work, you need to let them know that you are in a courtroom and you need to take a break. You're not allowed to be chopping trees or working while you're in court. So anything you could not do if you're physically in the courtroom, you cannot do on this Zoom screen. Everyone needs to make sure they're on mute. Also, you are not allowed to be changing diapers, running errands, babysitting, playing with your animals, not allowed. If you do anything that is inappropriate on this Zoom screen and you're on bond, you will be required to appear in person in the 187 District Court. Doesn't matter if you're out of county, out of state, out of country, you will be required to appear. To all of the defendants, your attorney's name will be called, your name will not be called. If you do not hear your attorney's name, it's because they're Zooming in another court. Maybe they're in trial in another court. Maybe they have to appear in person. Be patient. I'm going to open breakout rooms. When I open the breakout rooms, it will invite everyone to go to a breakout room. Do not, I repeat, do not go to a breakout room unless you're specifically called by name and assigned to a breakout room. To all those who are accused or defendants, your attorney is more likely than not going to want to speak with the prosecutor before they speak with you. So please do not ask if you're supposed to be in the breakout room. If your name was not called and you were not requested to be in a breakout room, then nobody wants you in the breakout room. To all attorneys, if you have a plea bargain agreement, no matter how small that plea bargain agreement is, you need to put it in the chat box to the court coordinator. She will be listed on the screen as Ferguson coordinator. She will need to know whether it's for regular probation or deferred or time. She will also need your client's email address if your client is on bond. And to the attorneys, the prosecutors will also need the email address of your client. I'm going to call your names. This is the order in which you'll appear. Rosa Sosa, M. Sanchez, Jay Norton, Jackson Lindsay, Pat Montgomery, Ed Shaughnessy, Tony Hernandez, Gross, Zamora, Locke, and there's, who are the attorneys in the courtroom, please?
Michael Gross, Judge.
All right, I have you. Who else?
Edgar Baez.
Derek Emmons.
Your Honor, this is Mark Darling. I'm also here.
All right. All right, everyone, let's make this a beautiful day. To those who are bond, let's not make it appear where you're going to have to appear in person at the 187 District Court, because if you do, there's traffic, there's construction, there's one-ways. If you end up taking the via bus still doesn't give change. So that bus ride is probably going to end up costing you $20, maybe $10. You can take an Uber or Lyft. That's going to cost money. If you drive downtown, you're going to find, if you're able to find parking, it is very expensive. So let's keep it a bright, happy Monday. It's a day of new beginnings because it is Monday. All right, Mr. Vasquez, you have to go to a jury trial. Who is your client?
Richard Thomas, Mr. Baez, Judge.
Mr. Valles, and it's
Richard Thomas. It should be on the Zoom.
Is it criminal trial division or family violence?
Family violence.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. A prosecutor will meet you there. Courtroom, if you'll go to breakout room number 1, please.
Appreciate that, Judge.
Thank you. Ms. Sosa, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. M. Sanchez.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, let me see, who do you have? I'm trying to find you on the screen. Could you state your name so I can see who's on the screen, please?
Yes, my
Oh, you
client
put
is
it-
Belinda Gonzalez. Mhm.
All right, so you named yours differently. So attorneys, if you could make sure that you keep your name first when you're renaming you. All right, I'm going to send you to number 4. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Jay Norton,
Good morning, ma'am.
good morning. I'm going to send you to number 5. Thank you for changing your name.
Thank you.
Jackson Lindsay, thank you for changing your name. I'm going to be sending you to number 6. And everyone, please put some patience in your pocket because we only have 3 prosecutors today. So they're going to get to the breakout rooms as quickly as they can. And as you all know, think of those as doctor's visits. When you go to see the doctor and they send you to a breakout room, you're not going to see the doctor right away. They're just checking your weight and your blood pressure. So when you go to those rooms, make sure your blood pressure doesn't go up. All right, Pat Montgomery, is it criminal trial division or family violence? And you're on mute.
Sorry, apparently holding the space bar doesn't work on this computer. They're both criminal trial division. One of them is set for a contested MTR this afternoon. That would be Mr. McDaniel. And the other has a murder case that was indicted 3 weeks ago.
All
And I
right, I'm
see
going to
my
send you.
invite.
I'm going to send you to number 7.
Thanks, Judge.
And everyone, just give me one moment.
Uh,
All right, Mr. Valle,
Judge, we need to set it for trial.
who's your client?
Richard Thomas.
All right, do you have all the discovery?
There's some issues with the discovery, but I think we're gonna pass on those.
Well, I mean, there's no passing. Are you guys signing the discovery acknowledgement that you've received all the discovery?
Well, I have not, Judge, but I think we're past that. This has been going on since the prior attorney. I don't want to hold the court's time anymore. So yes, we'll sign it.
All right, because what I have on the docketing sheet was all discovery was tendered. And then the next thing I have is no, new attorney hired, which is you. And there was some issues with IT downloading discovery.
That is
So
correct.
has that been done or no?
It has not been resolved, Your Honor, but the prosecutor provided to us what I needed. So that's what I'm saying.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson, yes, Ms. Ferguson, can I get a jury trial date for Mr. Valles, please? All right, we're coming back on May 24th. Mr. Thomas, your plea deadline date has expired. The court is not going to be accepting any plea bargain agreements on this case. Do you understand?
Judge, unfortunately, I have a federal trial on May 25th.
All right, we'll see what happens.
I just want the court be aware of that.
Okay. All right. That's May 25th, right?
That's correct. It's Judge February. It's a federal trial.
Okay. Well, this is set for trial on May 24th.
Judge, I can't be in 2 places at one time.
I know your trial in federal court is on May 25th. Here is May 24th. So Judge Barry, I know, is very reasonable.
It's May 23rd. Sorry, Judge. It's Monday, May 23rd.
All right, we'll see what happens. All right, you're excused. Thank you.
Okay, Judge.
You're welcome. Mr. Thomas, you're excused.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Ed Shaughnessy. Ed Shaughnessy.
Yes, Your Honor. Jasmine Hardaway. It's this criminal trial division with Marcus, if he's available.
Just give me a moment.
And she's on Zoom, Your Honor.
All right, I'll send you to number 8. Tony Hernandez, I'll send you to number 9.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Michael Gross, who do you have?
Judge, I have Rudolph Montoya. It's family violence case. You were reviewing some records in camera, and you got tied up in trial in January. And we haven't, I know you probably haven't had a chance to go through them yet.
Oh, yes, I did. Is
Oh,
this
great.
with the attorney from out of county?
Exactly right, Grimaldi or something like that, Your Honor. Yes, ma'am.
Hey, hi. Everyone, just a moment. No, I've had a chance to review those. And let me see, as soon as the attorney logs in, I'll let you know my ruling on that.
Judge, and then the prosecutors were getting some phone records for us back in January also. And I don't think she's here today.
What is your client's name is Thomas
Montoya.
Montoya? Just one second.
Family violence.
Just one second. Let me see where family violence is. All right, courtroom, could you go back to breakout room number 1, please?
All right, Judge, thank you.
You're welcome. Anthony Zamora. I'm going to send you to number 10. Shannon Locke, I'll send you 11. Derek Edmonds, who do you have?
Judge, I have Leland Dyer. It's sentencing today with family violence. He's present in the courtroom.
All right, and was that to due time?
It is, Judge.
All right, just one moment. Let me see if I can get a prosecutor. Is there a prosecutor available for sentencing?
Judge, this is Brittany. I'm here.
All right, thank you. All right, if you could have Mr. Dyer come forward, please. And Ms. Sparks, I don't believe this is a cap. This is straight time.
Okay, Judge, are we
There's
opposed?
no.
Oh, okay, okay,
This is just for time.
okay.
All right, the court is, no problem. The court is calling 2020 CR 8516, State of Texas versus Wilson Dyer. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Brittany Sparks?
for the defense?
Derek Emmons for Mr. Dyer.
And are you Mr. Dyer?
I am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. I'll note for the record that the defendant and the defense counsel are in the courtroom. Any objections from the state?
No objection.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
And the court will note for the record that the defendant's plea was entered by video as well. According to the plea bargain agreement, the defendant pled no contest to count 4, indecency with a child by exposure. The court found there was sufficient evidence to find him guilty. Are both parties ready to proceed with sentencing? State?
Yes, Judge.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, only we ask the court to follow the plea bargain and the recommendation of the state. Mr. Dyer has no criminal history. The family's given a lot of thought on his decision. He felt this is the best way to handle the case. So we asked the court just to go forward with the plea bargain and accept.
All right. So the court will follow your plea bargain agreement, Mr. Dyer, sentence you to 5 years in the prison. Chapter 62 compliance. There's to be no contact with Alexis and Deidre Arcee. Give you credit for any time served. Is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing? State?
Judge, this is a family violence case. This is Michael Villarreal for purpose of the record. There is going to be, or there is victim impact on this case. I know Marina's in here somewhere.
Okay.
I just got in. She's trying to log in.
All right. Is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing? State?
Nothing as far as sentencing, Judge.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Dyer, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically, I'm sorry, and did you sign it?
I did, Your Honor.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
I do, Your Honor.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
I do.
All right, Mr. Dyer, good luck to you. Mr. Dyer, just give us a moment. My understanding there's going to be victim impact. And is the party ready?
No, Judge, I had to resend the link to her, so she'll get on in just 1 second.
All right, everyone, just give me a moment, please. All right, Mr. Edmonds, someone will be bringing you a copy of the trial court certification. And while we wait on that, Rusty Dyer.
Morning, Your Honor. We're just waiting. Michael Villarreal has the case. So, he's going to submit a dismissal, Your Honor.
Who's your client?
I'm sorry, Judah Rosales.
All right, then just give me a moment. As soon as I receive that dismissal, I'll take that matter up.
Is Mr. Villarreal in the courtroom or is he appearing
He's
by
on
Zoom?
Zoom.
Okay.
All right, Eric Reynolds, you're in the courtroom, is that correct?
Oh, Judge, I'm present on Zoom.
All right, Mr. Reynolds, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 12.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Scott Simpson, I know that you're in the breakout room. Just give us a moment. Oh, is that Scott Simpson or not? All right. What is your name?
Eric Hernandez, Your Honor, for Miss Wendy Rathburn. She is present here in the courtroom.
Yes.
2021 CR 7768. Your Honor, I've had this case just at 14 days and just established contact with Miss Rathburn over the weekend. If I could get a reset to meet with her and confer with the state at the next setting.
What is the last name, please?
Rathburn, Rathburn. I was appointed on this case on March 28th.
All right, Ms. Rathburn, can you come forward, please? All right, Ms. Rathburn, we're going to call this back in 7 days. Ms. Ferguson, can I have a date in 7 days, please? All right, we're going to come back on April 20th. Have you received an offer from the state?
No, Your Honor, but I will reach out to the state by email.
Okay. All right, just make sure you get a reset form and you and your client will be excused after she signs the form.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Judge Boyd.
All right, to the state on your witness who's trying to zoom in. The deputies cannot hold Mr. Dyer forever.
She's here.
What is her name?
It's under Zoom user.
Can you unmute, please?
Hello.
Hello. All right, Zoom user. I'm going to send you to the courtroom.
We have a breakout room out, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Mr. Dyer, can you come forward, please? Mr. Dyer, the state has a witness for victim impact. What is your name, miss? You're on mute.
Deidre Arcee.
All right, Mr. Dyer, I require that everyone in the court treat everyone with respect. It doesn't matter if you're a defendant, if you're attorney or not. So Ms. Arce has some things that she wants to say to you, so please internalize those. All right, you can begin.
Okay. I can't believe that I am talking to the person that my daughter loved, trusted, and looked up to as a role model. A person she loved and believed would never hurt her. She trusted you and you turned out to be a monster, a pedophile, and abuser, not to mention a lowlife that preyed on an innocent little girl. You robbed her of her innocence. You tricked and manipulated her to think that all you were doing to her was okay, and it wasn't. You're a sick, perverted person who deserves much more than the court is giving you. This has changed her in so many ways. She has gone through therapy, but I'm sure that this doesn't bother you because you got what you wanted. And I thank God every day that she loved me enough to tell me what you were doing to her. She was so happy that you were going to jail because this is where bad people should be. I asked her if there was anything she wanted to tell you, and this is her words. You messed up my life. Now it's your turn to be messed up. It's your turn. It's your turn to have your messed up life. I hate you for what you did to me, and I thought you loved me, but you didn't because you wouldn't have done all those things to me. You are a piece of manure. And this is what I'm saying is that Lexi and I will move forward and do wonderful things in our lives. While you sit in your sins, just remember people in there don't like people like you. So keep your back against the wall. And that's all I have to say.
All right, thank you, Ms. Arce. Ms. Arce, this is the plea bargain agreement that was worked out and negotiated. Do you understand? So the court is following the plea bargain agreement that was reached between the parties. All right, Mr. Dyer,
Yes,
thank you. Thank you, Ms. Arce.
Thank you.
Ms. Winter, do you need to speak with Ms. Arce?
Yeah, if you can put me in a breakout room with her.
All right, I'll send you both to breakout room number 2.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
His belt. His belt is messed up.
All right, Kimbrough?
Yes, Your Honor, I've got April Zuniga. Wanted to confer with Ms. Sparks.
Did warn you, it's easier for you to see.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 13.
Thank you.
And if there's a family violence prosecutor, if you could go to breakout room number 1, please. And to the courtroom, I'm requesting that the prosecutor go to 1. Jonathan Watkins. Jonathan Watkins. All right, we'll wait till it comes back.
Good morning, Your Honor. I haven't seen him in here, and he
Oh,
has.
that's okay. He's here.
Oh, sorry, Your Honor.
No problem. All right, David Cuellar, who do you have?
Yes, Your Honor. I have Kayla O'Connor. We were set last Monday.
I also filed.
We failed. She failed to appear. I spoke to her the very next day on Tuesday, and we were ordered to come in person. Or Miss O'Connor was ordered to come in person. She's here. So we're
All right, just give me a moment. I know that the courtroom is in a breakout room, so as soon as they finish in that breakout room, I'll take up that matter. All right, Ed Shaughnessy on Miss Hardaway.
Yes, Your Honor, I spoke to Mr. Sanders and someone else from his unit was going to.
I'm here, Ed. It's Ryan.
Oh, okay. Your Honor, last time we were in court, Mr. Sanders informed me and the court that there were certain medical records in the custody of the Brooke Army Medical Center that he was seeking to obtain. He is still seeking those records, and they are essential in this matter because this prosecution rests entirely on the cause of death, and they have information that's potentially pertinent to that issue.
So what's hold up of the records?
Judge,
I mean,
my understanding, we've sent a subpoena. Obviously it's with the Brooks Army Medical Base. All we can do is keep bugging them. I don't know what the holdup is exactly, Judge, but I'll look into it and try to get our investigator to reach out and prod even more, because I know it has been 2 settings since we've been trying to get this. I don't know the exact answer to that question, Judge, but I'll work on it.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, recall Ms. Hardaway in 14 days so we can get these records.
What day will that be? Just out of,
She's gonna let me know when she puts it in the chat box.
all right.
All right, April 25th.
I'm going to be in trial in the 175th, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, put this on April 19th. All right, we'll see you on April 19th.
Be excused.
Yes. All right, James Ishimoto, who do you have?
Judge, I'm here on Bridget Adams on an MTR. I believe it's family violence.
All right, I'm going to send you 14.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Tony Hernandez. Tony Hernandez.
Sorry, Judge, I'm having internet problems over here.
That's okay.
I've conferred, Judge. Mr. Martinez is in federal custody on a federal matter in the Carnes or Eden, I don't recall. So if we could just continue this matter.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Mr. Pedro Martinez. Can I have a 30-day reset, please?
And Judge, it is at least partially related to this particular case.
All right, we're going to come back on May 23rd.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes, you're excused. I'll help you. Brenna, do you see what page he is on?
Page 11. Judge.
Thank you. You went right to it. All right, to those who are in the courtroom, just be patient. As soon as the attorney is finished in the breakout room, then I will call you up. Sharon Thorne, who do you have? You're on mute.
Sorry, Your Honor. Okay, Your Honor, yes, I have Jose Guadalupe Garcia. He is in custody. I apologize. I was in CPS and I'd let Norma know where I was. I'd like to confer with the state.
Is it criminal trial division or family violence?
Looks like it's criminal. Yes, criminal trial division. Yes, ma'am.
I'll send you to 15.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, everyone, just give me a moment while I sign some paperwork. All right, Mr. Dyer, you have your hand raised?
Yes, Your Honor. Judah Rosales, and it's if Michael Villarreal he is the one responsible for the submission of the dismissal, and I just maybe could check with him and see if there's any problem.
All right, well, what I can tell you is we have one prosecutor in family violence today, I believe. So put some patience in your pocket, take it out as needed. So as soon as he is done, he'll send me the dismissal. And we'll take that matter up.
If I assume he's aware, Your Honor, that we would be waiting on that.
Well, Rusty, you know what the rules are, right? Never assume anything, Watson.
Okay, that's why I wanted to give him a reminder if he needed one.
Okay. He's in breakout room number 1 right now. As soon as he comes out, we'll take that up. And I see the attorney is standing in line. I have you in the order in which you're standing in line. So just give us a moment. Be patient.
Thank you very much.
Who is Moto G Stylist 5G? Yes, you, sir. Can you unmute for me, please?
Hello.
Hi, how you doing this morning?
Good. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing great. You're going to be required to appear in person in 187 District Court. I don't know why you think you can lay down in bed because there's no bedrooms in the courthouse. That's okay. I'll see you at 300 De La Rosa. It's located downtown. It's on the 4th floor, 187 District Court. What's your name?
Jose Garcia. That's what I was trying to. I called down there and the guy had told me, the clerk, he had told me I had to be on Zoom.
Yeah, did he tell you had to be on Zoom laying in bed? I think not.
No, I know. I'll put my shoe. I'll put my shoe on. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. You know what? Apology accepted. I'll see you in the 187 District Court. It's located at 300 De La Rosa in Bexar County.
Yes, ma'am. I know. I was calling them earlier because I don't know who my lawyer was, and I have a CPS meeting with my kids because they got removed.
Okay, so what is your name again, sir?
Jose Garcia.
All right, Jose Garcia, I want you to listen to me very carefully, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And if there's something that I say to you that you don't understand, let me know, all right?
Yes,
you are not allowed to lay in bed if you're in court. You are in court. And what I said at the beginning of this docket, anything that you could not do if you're in the courtroom, you can't do on this Zoom screen. So last time I checked, and I'm looking at the courtroom right now, there are no beds in the courtroom. So you can't be on Zoom laying in bed. So you are to appear in the 187 District Court, get thee to the courthouse. It's 300 De La Rosa, 187 District Court, 4th floor. If you do not appear in person, a warrant may be issued for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
How do I do it with my CPS meeting?
That is not my concern. Those are things you should have thought of because this is not CPS court. Those are things you should have thought of when you appeared in your bed on Zoom in a courtroom.
I was putting my shoe on.
Zoom is a privilege. Zoom is not a right. It's a privilege.
I was putting my shoe on though. I just got
logged in. No, you were not. No, you were not. Because no one lays down against their headboard to put shoes on. And I'm not having this conversation with you. It's Monday. It's a great day. See you in the courtroom. You can choose to appear in the 187 District Court or not. If you don't appear, a warrant may be issued for your arrest. Just one moment.
Chavez, her attorney or his attorney is in Comal County right now, but he applied for pretrial diversion. So I told the attorney that I would let you know he's stuck in Comal County.
Okay.
So if I can give him a 30-day reset, it's on Zoom, the client. So I don't know if you just want to reset it.
Thank you. All right, Alejandro Chavez.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Chavez. My understanding is that you applied for pretrial diversion.
Yes, ma'am. They said I qualified and I'm currently on that right now.
All right, make sure you have that paperwork filled out. You understand?
It's already all been turned in. I've already started.
All right, thank you.
Yes,
Ms.
ma'am.
Ferguson, what's the 30-day reset for Mr. Chavez? All right, we'll come back on May 16th. You're excused.
Yes, ma'am. I didn't want to interrupt earlier because my attorney wasn't here and I didn't want to appear in court, by the way. So I was sitting patiently, put it in my pocket and took it out.
Thank you. And you know what? Since you're done with court today, still keep some patience for the rest of your day, and you can leave some behind if you so choose.
Ma'am, you have a good day.
All right, thank you. You too. Just one moment. All right, to the courtroom. Who was in breakout room number 1?
He is already out, Your Honor.
All right, and what's the attorney's name?
Michael Gross, Judge, on Rudolph Montoya.
All right. Ms. Ferguson, do you know where the other attorney is on this case?
On which one, ma'am? I'm sorry.
Rudolph Montoya. This is the one with the in-camera inspection.
Let me see where he's at, Judge. Give me 1 second.
All right, just give us a moment, Mr. Gross.
All right, Judge.
All right, David Cuellar, who do you have?
Kayla Connor, that was from last Monday, Your Honor. She's here
And
for-
she's in the courtroom, and have you
She's in-
conferred with the state or no?
I conferred last Monday. There are several co-defendants, so the state wanted some time to get everything in order before they made any kind of offer.
All right, where's Ms. Connor?
She's in the box, Your Honor, in the jury box.
All right, to the deputies, could you have Ms. Connor come forward, please?
Ms. Connor.
All right, Ms. Connor, why were you not present for court?
My daughter had wiped my phone and I had to get a new one. She had thrown it in water and I had all my information on it. Honestly, I had gotten the days mixed up and I thought it wasn't the 4th, that it was supposed to be on the 6th. I don't know why exactly. I just mind a little bit foggy. I wasn't in any way, shape, or form trying to do this on purpose. I contacted Mr. Cuellar on Tuesday asking what the date was, and he had told me that it was the day prior and I had already missed it. Again, ma'am, I'm not trying to disrespect you.
So here's my question. If you knew it was the day prior, why didn't you come sooner than today?
Your Honor, though, I was calling the court, trying to get some information on how I should handle the situation, and then I was given the information to report today, or to have Ms. Connor report today. She did call me right away Tuesday. She texted me, and I immediately contacted the court to see how we should handle it.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. Ms. Connor, can you make sure that she's on the same date as the rest of the co-defendants, please? Just one moment, I'm waiting for a date in the chat box.
Give me just a second, Judge.
And to the clerks, I put information in the chat box for you. Just one moment. All right, so we're going to come back on April 26th. Ms. Connor, do not forget your court date. You're going to leave with the paper documentation of your court date. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I'll ask that the warrant be recalled.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you so much.
All right, just one moment.
You're muted, Judge.
I'm going to recall the warrant and ask that the bond be reinstated. Ms. Connor, until that's done, though, you're going to need to remain in the box in custody. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And we're going to come back on April 26th. All right, you can have a seat, Mr. Cuellar.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, everyone, just give me a moment. Bill Davidson, who do you have?
Yes, Your Honor. I had Allison Lee Settle in the jail. She pled on MTR on March 29th, and you had scheduled this for a hearing just to check and see if she'd gotten to the drug court. She did not. So they're going to put her in the Esperanza court. This is Allison Lee Settle, an MTR.
All right, so they're requesting that she be transferred to Esperanza Court.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Settle.
I don't think
Settle.
I don't know that she's available, Your Honor. I'm not sure.
She's in custody, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Ms. Ferguson on Ms. Settle. Can you then do a referral to Esperanza Court? And Rebecca, can you do a referral to Esperanza Court?
Yes, ma'am.
And then Norma, what date can we recall this to make sure that she's been accepted into Esperanza Court? All right, we're going to recall it for May 16th just to make sure that she is accepted into Esperanza Court. Mr. Davidson, you're excused, and we're going to have your client appear on screen so that they can sign the documentation.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, George Schaefer, who do you have?
Judge, I have Siraj Whitehorn.
Criminal Trial Division or Family Violence?
Criminal trial, Judge.
All right, if you'll go to breakout room number 1, a prosecutor will meet you there.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, are any attorneys ready? And not in the courtroom, I mean, on
Your
the
Honor,
Zoom screen, who've been to breakout rooms.
I need a breakout room, Judge, whenever the court gets a moment. Good morning.
Good morning. Oh, Jonathan, you've shaved your head.
Judge, I'm not Scott Simpson for the record.
Okay.
Going for that Jason Statham look.
Hey, that's okay. And who's your client is your Adalis? Is it criminal trial division or family violence?
It's trial division, Judge, and I just need to speak to Marcus or if he's available.
Okay. All right, I'll send you to number 9.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. I hope you're having a good morning.
Oh, yeah, it's a beautiful day.
Judge, I wasn't asleep either. I swear I wasn't asleep.
Okay. All right, Shannon Locke.
Morning, Your Honor. We've received a plea bargain offer from the state. I know the court's practice is to give us a plea agreement deadline after this.
Yes. All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you recall this case in 7 days, please?
And I know it's probably futile to ask, Judge, but any chance we could get more than 7 days? It involves several states, court orders has involved, and the state is now on the 15th. They uploaded more documents. 15th of March. It's just going to require fairly significant analysis.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, Mr. Toussaint, can you put this on April 19th And that'll be your jury trial date, Mr. Locke, and also your plea deadline date.
Does Mr. Toussaint have to be here in person for that, Your Honor?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, we'll see you then.
So in person
So-
on April 19th.
Yes, so that's your jury trial date and your plea deadline date, Mr. Toussaint. So if you do not enter a plea on that date, then you'll be going to jury trial.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, this is Brian Kimbrough for April Zuniga.
All right,
Was that
just give me a
sparked-
moment, just a moment.
I'm sorry.
All right, Pat Montgomery.
Judge, if I could be put in a breakout room with Mr. McDaniel. I spoke to Mr. Groomer already. Now I'd like to speak to Mr. McDaniel.
All right, Mr. McDaniel, if you'll go to breakout room number 8, please. All right, Brian Kimbrough.
Yes, Your Honor. April Zuniga, I conferred with Brittany Sparks, and we'd like to meet with you in a breakout room, talk about a couple of things.
All right, just give me a moment. Sharon Thorne.
Yes, Your Honor. I have conferred with the state and my apologies. I thought my client was in custody. He's not. He's on bond. I did not contact him to give him the Zoom, but apparently he found out about the Zoom. He said that he tried to Zoom in, but he was kicked out. I need to confer with him. His
No,
name is-
Jose Garcia was not kicked out. Jose Garcia's Zoom privileges were revoked because he was laying in bed on Zoom.
Okay, I didn't
Yeah,
know
no
about that,
problem.
Your Honor.
No, he wasn't kicked out.
So
his Zoom privileges were revoked. So he has to be in court. And if he doesn't appear, a warrant may be issued for his arrest.
And that's this morning, Your Honor?
Yes.
Okay, which means I would have to be there too?
No, you can appear by Zoom. Your Zoom privileges have not been revoked.
All right, so
Unless you're laying in bed, Sharon, which I know you're not. You're in your office.
I'm in my office. There's my diploma. Okay.
Yeah.
And my dog, sorry, she is laying down.
That's okay.
Okay, so how long does he have to turn himself in, Your Honor?
I estimate he should be here by 11:30.
Okay, let me reach him again and because I do want to confer with him. The state has made an offer. This is my first setting. Okay, I'll try to get a hold of him and tell him. You already told him then he needs to be here in person?
Yes, I've already told him that he needs to appear in person or a warrant may be issued.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, thanks.
All right, you're welcome. All right, Anthony Zamora.
Good morning, Judge.
Yes. Mr. Goddard?
I conferred with the state, Mr. Villarreal. I believe they have additional discovery waiting to be tested through DPS.
Judge, if I may.
Yes.
I reviewed the file and realized that there is already serological and DNA evidence in this case, but there were some items that were not submitted to the lab for testing. And so they have been submitted now. And I've asked that the lab rush them, but I don't, they obviously are not available yet.
All right. Ms. Ferguson, I'm gonna put something in the chat box to you. Just a moment. We're gonna get you a reset date. So Ms. Ferguson, if I could get a reset date on Mr. Gunner, please. All right, your jury trial date is going to be July 12th.
That's for me, Your Honor, correct?
Yes, for you and your
Okay.
client, and you'll need to
So-
appear in court.
So July 12th, appear in court.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. 9
Mr.
a.m.
Gunn, 9 a.m. And Mr. Gunner, you'll need to appear in court July 12th at 9 a.m.
Yes, ma'am.
All right,
Thank you,
thank
Judge.
you.
May I be excused?
Yes,
Thank you. Have a nice day.
thank you, you too. All right, Eric Reynolds.
Yes, Judge. I believe this is our first setting. I just spoke with the DA and received an offer on Mr. Schooler's case. We're just asking for a reset so I can meet with him in office so we can
Where's
discuss our
Mr.
options.
Schooler?
Judge, I spoke with him twice this morning. He should be online. He says he was.
Yes, he's not here.
Let me call him.
Thank you. All right, who's in line?
Judge, may I approach?
Just one moment.
Okay.
Mr. Cox, who do you have?
It's a Joseph Harris, Judge. He's on I guess, a kind of compliance docket. And he should be on.
All right, just a moment because let me see. Joseph Harris.
And I got some patience in my pocket. In
But
both
you
pockets.
may have to pull it out. Mr. Harris, you need to show your video.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hi, Mr. Harris. You're
Yes,
always
ma'am.
supposed to have your video on.
I'm sorry about that.
Next time you zoom in, your video needs to be on. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, just a moment. Okay. All right, Mr. Harris.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're under full house arrest, and this is me having a conversation with you, okay?
No, I'm not under full house arrest. No.
It's Judge is tracking.
Okay, well, it's showing on this that I guess his previous conditions were full house arrest. And so now it's retracting. So here's the thing, Mr. Harris. I don't know if it's true or not, but they're saying that you tested positive for cocaine. I don't know if that's true or not. I just know what they're giving me. They're saying you're testing positive for cocaine. So here's the thing, Mr. Harris. This is you and I having a conversation. You're on bond. You're on tracking only. Don't come back here for another violation. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. May I speak, please?
Ms. Harris, just let the judge speak. Don't speak unless we talk. Sorry.
So we're going to continue with the same conditions that you've had before while you've been on a bond with the tracking only. There's still going to be drug and alcohol testing weekly. So don't come back with another positive UA. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is there anything else, Mr. Cox?
Nothing further, Judge. Thank you.
All right. And Mr. Cox, on Mr. Harris, I know this case hasn't been indicted yet,
That's
but
correct.
I'm assuming the discovery process has started.
It has started, Judge.
All right. Then you and your client are excused.
All right, thank you very much, Judge. Always a
You're
pleasure
welcome.
in 187th District Court.
Hey, I appreciate you.
I
Thank
should
you.
get CLE credit for it, Judge. Thank you.
Okay. All right, Mr. Harris, you're excused.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, and just one moment, Mr. Appelt. The parties, Gross, if you could skip in line, please.
Yes, Judge.
And then Joe.
Good morning, Your
Locana.
Honor.
Hi.
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning. How are you today?
Thank you. You know what? You're one of the few names that follows the rules that we were taught in school, which is when the two vowels go walking, the first one does the talking, everybody else is quiet. So I appreciate that. Tell your parents thank you.
I will. I will.
All right. So on the case involving Mr. Gross, your client's name is?
Rudolph Montoya, Your Honor.
Rudolph Montoya. All right, the court has reviewed the documents that was sent to me by Mr. Loacano. And although I had difficulty opening it because it was expiring, the time for me to view it, I did get a chance to view it and review it all. And the court's going to order that the defense be given that. However, defense, there's going to be a protective order associated with that. Do you understand, defense?
You've already signed the protective order, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. So Mr. Loacana, if you could turn that over to defense, please.
Yes, Your Honor. Just to be clear, so that every single one of the pages of the records that were provided are to be produced. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
And I did read the request from the therapist who was requesting that I not turn it over, but in the court's opinion, it needs to be turned over to the defense. So
Okay.
if you could let her know that I did strongly consider that.
I will, Your Honor. And then, Your Honor, will there be another order, a written order ordering this production, or is this just an order on the record regarding the production?
We're gonna put it on the record. Brenda, can we go on the record? Court is going on the record in 2019 CR 9952, State of Texas versus Rudolph Montoya. Can I have the defense announced for the record?
Morning, Your Honor. Michael Gross for Rudolph Montoya. We're here and present.
All right, and the court will note for the record that Mr. Rudolph Montoya is present on the Zoom screen. And Mr. Loacana, if you could state your name for the record and your association to this case.
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning. Joe Loiacano. I represent non-party Sherry Grimsley, from whom or to whom a request for documents was made.
All right. And the court was completed an in-camera inspection on the documents that the defense was requesting. The court is going to order that those documents be produced for the defense, as the defense has reminded the court. And as I see in the court's file, that the defense has submitted a protective order. And I believe, Mr. Loacano, you have had a chance to review that. And it was signed by you and Ms. Wilkes. So the court is ordering that those documents be turned over to the defense. And Mr. Loacana, are those going to be sent to him by email as they were tendered to me?
Secure file transfer, Your Honor. Yes.
All right.
And Your Honor, do I understand also that production should likewise be made to the prosecution?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. And then what we will do on this is, Mr. Loacana, how long do you think it would be before you're able to tender that to the defense in the state?
Whatever the court's preference is, Your Honor. I can work with whatever.
Well, no, I mean, just tell me, and I'll let you know if that's too far in the future.
How about Friday?
All right. So he's going to tender that to the state and the defense on Friday. And let me see if there's a family violence prosecutor on here.
Judge, I'm here.
All right, Mr. Villarreal, if you could put in the chat box to Mr. Loacana your email address and where he can send the documents to you.
Yeah, I will, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
All right, and Ms. Ferguson, can we have this set at the end of April just to make sure that we have all the documents? And Mr. Gross, have you received an offer in this case?
We're not finished with discovery, Your Honor.
All right. So your discovery deadline date is April 28th.
Judge, the prosecution is attempting, we sent out subpoenas last year to Facebook and to Verizon for the social media and for text messages and call records. We received a response back in January that it was too broad a request, even though I thought it was appropriate, and they didn't recognize the validity of them. And they invoked the Stored Communications Act. So I spoke with the prosecutor at the January setting. And again, today with Mr. Villarreal, they're going to have their case agents send out subpoenas to these two entities to try to get that information. And I don't think we'll have it back, Your Honor, by the end of the month, but I'm happy to appear and give you a status on it, Your Honor.
Oh yeah, we'll be back on April 28th. The discovery will be done. Put some faith and patience in your pocket. So it will be here. All right, if there's nothing else, parties are excused.
One additional matter, Your Honor, I filed last week on 6 April, a second motion to remove the ankle monitor and house arrest. Mr. Villarreal today said that he's unopposed to removing the house arrest condition of the bond, but that he would prefer to be able to keep monitoring the whereabouts of Mr. Montoya. In this case, Your Honor, the complainant is not in the same city as Mr. Montoya and has had no contact with him since before 2019. And so we're respectfully requesting the court delete as a condition of probation, as a condition of release on bond, the house arrest, and allow Mr. Montoya to travel throughout the state of Texas for his job.
All right, so how is tracking not allowing him to do that? Because his court's understanding if he's placed on tracking only, then he will be allowed to move throughout the state of Texas.
I'm asking, Judge, that the monitor be removed because Mr. Montoya has been relatively good on this house arrest and bond to go to work and the monitor to go to work. It's extremely mentally taxing on an individual to have an ankle monitor on all the time. It's just, it's a stressful situation to have. I completely understand the prosecution and the court's concern about the charge of this case, but it's just my suggestion, Your Honor, that ankle monitor is not necessary. Now, I spoke to Mr. Villarreal, and hopefully in the next few months, there'll be an alternative to that that still allows tracking of an individual without the ankle monitor. But we're respectfully requesting the ankle monitor to come off completely, or any alternative. Mr. Villarreal and I are in agreement to do away with house arrest.
All right, to the clerks, could I have the motion that Mr. Gross said he filed on Mr. Montoya?
And Your Honor, just so the record's clear, we are in agreement for tracking, as the court suggested, but not the removal monitor.
All right, thank you. All right, to the clerks, could I have that motion, please?
Yes, Judge.
The motion to remove the GPS that will be denied, the defendant will be placed on tracking only. Is there anything else from either side?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Mr. Montoya, you're excused. Mr. Gross, you're excused if you have nothing else with us.
So that I'm clear, Your Honor, Mr. Montoya is free to travel around the state of Texas without checking with pretrial, right, Your Honor?
Yes, what I'm going to let them know is that he's for tracking only.
Understood. Thank you, Judge. Appreciate it.
All right, you're welcome.
And thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
And just to be clear, for the the April 28th hearing, no need for me to be at that one, correct?
There is no need for you to be here, although people love coming to this court. So if you feel the same love that other people do for this court, then you're more than welcome to show up.
Fair enough. Thank you, Your Honor. Have a great day.
All right, thank you. You too. All right, just one moment. All right, to Criminal Trial Division, if you're available to go to breakout room number 1, please, if you could go to number 1.
I'll go there, Judge. It's Ryan.
Thank you. And to those who are standing in line in the courtroom, I see you, but we're just waiting for that room to be open up. Eric Reynolds.
The OAG prosecutor relayed to us that due to her schedule,
Eric Reynolds.
she was going to be available.
Eric Reynolds. We cannot hear you. Okay, everyone just give me a moment.
Apologies, Judge. Can you hear me now?
Yes, just give me a moment. All right, Eric Reynolds.
Yes, Judge, my client is now on. He's under a different name, under Mr. Leonard. He's waiving.
All right, what's your client's real name?
Martin Schooler.
All right, what is happening with Mr. Schooler?
Yes, Judge, we just received an offer today. I believe it's a first setting, at least it is for me. And got us offer from the state, and I'd like to.
And I'm not sure, did I hear that Claudio just,
Okay.
I'd like to get a reset, Judge, so I can meet with my client to discuss our options.
All right, do you have all the discovery?
Yes, Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you set this in 30 days, please? Mr. Schooler. All right, we'll see you back on May 16th.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. And everyone, just give me a moment. Brenda, do you see what page Mr. Schooler is on?
Page 10 at the very bottom.
All right, thank you. All right, Brian Kimbrough.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Yeah, we wanted to, Brittany Sparks and I wanted to meet with you in a breakout room for a minute.
All right. Let me see if Brittany is available. All right, as soon as Brittany's available, I'll take that matter up. Mark Darling.
Good morning, Your Honor. I would like to be placed in a breakout room with Martin Gonzalez, if that's possible. I have a deal worked out. And I need 2 forms from the court, the trial court certification and consent to Zoom.
All right, and is he in custody or on bond?
He's in custody, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2.
Okay, thank you.
And Mr. Gonzalez, if you'll go to breakout room number 2, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Jay Norton.
Good morning again. Judge,
Good morning.
on Mr. Flores, we have a plea offer that I believe he will probably be taking. We'd ask the judge if we could, ask the court if we could have a couple of days so I can talk with him and his family about the pros and cons of it.
All right, today is the plea deadline date. Mr. Flores, can you unmute?
Yes, ma'am.
How old are you?
I'm 39, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to give you the parent talk. Okay, here's the parent talk. And parents tell me they appreciate me giving this talk. Before anybody picks up an offense, parents would love for you to get their advice beforehand, not after the fact. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, today is your plea deadline date. Ms. Ferguson, Mr. Flores, we're going to recall it for tomorrow. That's your jury trial date, Mr. Flores.
Excuse me?
Jury trial tomorrow.
I'm not trying to go to jury trial, Your Honor.
I know, if you're working out an agreement, then
It just means we have to be in court tomorrow in person.
Okay. All right. I didn't understand, ma'am.
all right. But if you want to do a plea today, the court is willing to accept your plea today.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, necessary, can we come back this afternoon? We just need
yes.
It's for a time offer, so there's some considerations that need to be talked about.
Okay, so I'll bring you, Ms. Ferguson. Mr. Flores is going to be back at 2 o'clock.
Would it be the same Zoom information, Your Honor?
Yes, it'll be the same Zoom link.
Okay, so Eric, back at 2, okay?
Yes, sir.
And may we be excused until 2, ma'am?
Yes, you're excused.
Thank you, Your
Thank
Honor.
you.
You're welcome. James Ishimoto.
Yeah, just Judge, I'm back from conferring with the state. We have an agreement on an MTR.
All right. Have you signed the paperwork with your client?
I've not gotten any paperwork yet.
All right. You need to let Ms. Ferguson know what your agreement is.
I've let her know that it's an agreement to continue her on probation.
Well, you all still have paperwork to fill out,
Yes, ma'am.
unless they're withdrawing it. So I'm sending you both to breakout room number 4, and Ms. Ferguson will send you the paperwork. Pat Montgomery. Pat Montgomery. All right. Pat Montgomery. Okay. All right, Mr. Appelt.
Yes,
Who do
Your
you
Honor.
have?
I have Kathleen Segovia, and it's an MTR, I believe. I thought I had a copy of the MTR with me, but I do not. If I may go get it from the clerks, they're working on some paperwork for an in-person plea in the 227th this morning. That's why I'm late, Judge. I did let the clerks know though.
All right, no problem. And repeat your client's name. It's Segovia.
Segovia, first name is Kathleen with a K.
All right, and you've already worked out an agreement with the state?
I have not, Your Honor. I need to confer with them, and it might be easier if I can find a spot with decent reception to get on my cell phone and zoom in, if that would be better for you, Judge.
Oh, either way, or either you can go to breakout room number 1 and the courtroom will send you to number 1.
Okay, I'll do that.
All right, Michael Villarreal.
Yes, Your Honor.
Rusty Dyer says he has a dismissal.
We're still, I followed up with our protective order unit today, Your Honor. It's a signing for a protective order for dismissal. I followed up with them last week. I still haven't heard back. I'm gonna maybe haul my butt across the street when I get a chance to talk with them in person to see what the holdup is as far as getting this signed. I know it's not on any part of Mr. Geyer's, it's the state's.
Okay, and what is, Mr. Dyer, what is your client's name?
Judah Rosales, Your Honor.
Let me just find him on the docket sheet. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna come back at 2 p.m. And if it's done before then, Mr. Dyer will let you know.
Thank you, Judge.
You're
Michael,
welcome.
do you have everything from me?
She's on for 2
I
days.
do.
Okay, thank you. I
She's
just want
on
to make
for
sure. Yeah, thank you.
Possession, lesson 1, and fraud.
You're welcome. All right, is Brittany Sparks here?
I think that's.
She's
in the breakout room, Your Honor.
Okay, just as soon as she gets out the breakout room, Brian, we'll take that up. You have a lot of patience. I appreciate that.
Judge,
All right.
you were calling me.
No, you can finish. Have you finished speaking with Joseph Appelton, number 1?
No, ma'am, not yet.
Oh, you can finish speaking to him. I'll take up this other matter.
Okay, Judge.
Thank you.
I'm
M.
here too,
Sanchez.
Judge. I don't know. It's Ryan. I'm here if I'm working on paperwork on another one, but I can jump in for one of the 2 things that you need Brittany for.
Oh, no problem. They wanted to speak with me in a breakout room, but Mr. Kimbrough has a lot of patience today, and I appreciate that. So, Mr. Sanchez, Melinda Gonzalez.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. I did have the opportunity to speak with the state. It seems like we're getting closer to a resolution of this case. I understand that there's some outreach that the DA will be doing. So to allow for some time for that, we'd like a reset, Your Honor, or an extension.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Melinda Gonzalez, can I have a plea deadline date for 14 days, please? Just one moment. I'm just waiting for a date in the chat box, Mr. Sanchez.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Judge, I think Norma may be in room 4.
Aha, okay. Let me look it up. Just 1 second.
Your Honor, if I may, there is a potential that I'm set for trial in Zavala County at the end of the month. That'd be starting on the 25th, and it may take me the better part of that business week.
Okay, well, we'll give you a plea deadline date of April 18th. Thank you. You and your client are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Mhm.
Brenda, do you see Miss Gonzalez on the
page 10?
All right. Everything is on 10 and I'm missing it for some reason.
It's right in the middle. Well, the third down.
Okay, thank you. Kurt Grancy, who do you have? You're on mute.
Yes, okay. His name is Alejandro Chavez, but I notified the court that I was going to be in Comal County. I got out of there a little early. It may have been already reset because I let them know I was going to be tied up, but I thought I'll check in because
yes, it's been reset. Your plea deadline date is May 16th.
Judge, that's what I want to let you know. He's been accepted into the PTD program for the case.
You know what? My mistake. No, it is PTD. I'm sorry, for May 16th.
And
so that'll be your next date.
And I'm just unaware of the procedure. You come back after you're in PTD for a setting, or what is the?
Yes, come back to make sure that your client is doing everything that he's supposed to be doing.
Okay. Can I have some things. Hold on, Judge. I think May 16th, I'm going to be, let me double check.
Well, here's the thing. On that May 16th date, either your client is doing what he's supposed to be doing or he's not.
Okay. I just thought I was going to be at Tulane University for graduation.
Oh, no, that's fine. You're not needed to be present.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, to those who are standing in the courtroom, I see you, but you're going to have to wait until the person is out of breakout room and breakout room number 1.
Okay, I got it wrong. Thank you.
All right, Brian Kimbrough. Just give us a moment. Ms. Sparks.
Yes, Judge.
All right, Brian Kimbrough. Are you ready?
Yes, ready, Your Honor.
All right, Brian, if you'll go to number 9, Ms. Sparks, if you'll go to number 9, and everyone just be patient. I'll be right back.
Thank you.
Okay, so I just got a pop up for 38. Can I go to 38? Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so, but you just want to reset or did you want to confirm?
Just a reset, Judge.
Okay, let me give you, May
And
20.
Ms. Torres, I was just,
I think it is, May 26.
or anyone could just confirm that Mr. Granados was checking.
Judah Rosales.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. You need to be back at 2 p.m.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Judge, I just sent you a chat.
All right, thank you. George Schaefer. What's your client's name?
Siraj Whitehorn.
Judge, we still have a breakout room.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you are medically discharged.
All right, in the courtroom, you can mute the courtroom. All right, who are the prosecutors on Whitehorn?
Brittany, Judge.
All right, my understanding, the defense has informed
So
the
you
court
never
through the coordinator that there's a case that's going to be re-indicted. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right, and which court is that? I mean, which count is that or charge is that?
It's going to be one of the assault on the peace officer. I'm going to pull up the exact cause number, Judge. It's going to be the one ending in 7125.
All right, and Mr. And again, the courtroom, you can keep the courtroom on mute because I know you're in the breakout room. But Mr. Schaefer, the court is aware that you were recently appointed on March 7th. So to the coordinator, could I have a 30-day reset on Whitehorn, please? All right, Mr. Whitehorn, we're going to bring you back on May 16th. State if there is something that you're planning on re-indicting, then whatever you're planning to do needs to be done by that date. Mr. Schaefer, it will be May 16th. Thank you. You're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Norman, can you let them know that Whitehorn can go back, please? And everyone, just give me a moment, please. John Robertson.
Good morning, Your Honor. I need to confer with Joe Ray, I think. I'm here on Omar Madison.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 6.
Thank you.
Permission to approach, Your Honor.
Just one moment. Yes, Mr. Simmons.
Oh, yes, Judge. I have Mr. Davis Villegas. He's the gentleman that we had already had the paperwork signed and everything ready to go, but I'm assuming he got picked up over the weekend. But I'm really just checking to see if the court still has the paperwork that we signed from last week. I did sign the paperwork that I got this morning electronically, but he also executed all that paperwork last week. I'm wondering if it's in his file, because if so, then I think we'd be ready to move forward, Judge.
All right, you probably want to speak with the state and see if they're even going to abide by this previous offer.
Yes, Judge. If I could confer, Your Honor.
All right, is it criminal trial division or family violence?
This would be family violence, Judge.
All right, Mr. Simmons, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 4.
Thank you.
And Judge, whenever I can approach too, whenever the court has a moment.
Yes, Mr. Watkins.
May I, Judge?
Yes.
So I got to talk to Marcus on the phone, Your Honor, and Mr. Sanders, and we're pretty close to a resolution, but I've just been needing, my co-counsel and I on Urdiales have needing to meet him to give him like a packet to consider prior to making a final disposition on this case. And I'm either going to meet with him on Thursday or sometime next week. If there's any way we could just have another 2 weeks, I think that's all we'll need, Judge.
All right, Miss Ferguson. Mr. Urdiales, can you put him for jury trial on the 19th, please? All right, so we're going to come back on April 19th. Mr. Urdiales, that's going to be your jury trial date. If you decide to enter a plea, of course, you can enter a plea, but that date will be your jury trial date and your plea deadline date.
And will we be back in person, Judge, or on Zoom?
Oh, no, that'll be in person.
Okay, yes, ma'am. I'll mark my calendar, Your Honor, and I'll get to work. And thank you for being understanding. We appreciate
All right, you're welcome. Pat Montgomery, Mr. McDaniel, if you could go to breakout room number 7, please.
Your Honor, please enable screen share in that breakout room.
Yes, will do.
Thank you.
When you're done.
And it's already on screen share, so there may be an issue at the jail. All right, and those who are lined in the courtroom, as soon as they finish conferring in breakout room number 1 in the courtroom, then we will see you then. And Mr. Urdiales, you are excused.
Thank you so much, Judge. Have a beautiful Monday.
Oh, thank you. You too, Mr. Urdiales.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
9 a.m. Leave.
Raymond Martinez, who do you have?
Judge, I have 3 people this morning. Joseph Ramirez,
Criminal Trial Division or Family Violence?
Criminal Trial Division, Judge, and we're here because of a violation report.
Okay, and who else do you have?
And David Hernandez,
Criminal Trial Division or Family Violence?
that's family violence. That's a motion to modify bond conditions, Judge.
And then who else?
And then I have Mark Rodriguez,
Criminal Trial Division or Family Violence?
Criminal Trial Division, Judge, and that's a motion to withdraw.
Okay. All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2.
Thank you, Judge.
Bobby Gibbia, who do you have?
Hello, Judge. I have Migdalia Salazar. I'll need to confer with the state. It's a family violence case.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 4.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, and who are the parties on Bridget Adams?
Judge James Shimoda on Bridget Adams.
Michelle Hayden.
We have to keep the audio down on this one because
Did you turn it on in the courtroom?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Bridget Adams. All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 8557A, State of Texas versus Bridget Adams. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Michelle Hayden for the state.
For the defense?
James Shimoda for the defense.
And are you Bridget Adams?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
No objections, Your Honor.
Ms. Adams, I'm showing you what's entitled defendant's consent to appear by video conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Judge, I did.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled motion to enter adjudication of guilty and revoke community supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, I did, Judge.
Are you the same Bridget Adams who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2021 CR 8557A for the offense of abandonment and danger of child criminal negligence on December 8, 2021 for a period of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
State?
Violated condition number 40 on or about the 20th day of December 2021 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Bridget Adams, did then and there fail to attend MIC, Myoff, TCOO, MI in violation of condition number 40.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
State?
We're waiving the other allegations.
Any objection?
No objection, Judge.
All right, Ms. Adams, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 40, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 40?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Court will find violation of condition number 40 true. Is there an agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
We ask that you find the violation true, that you continue the defendant on community supervision, and that she remain incarcerated while the MIC, Myoff, TCOO, MI evaluations are completed, and then that the conditions of probation be amended to follow those recommendations from the evaluations.
Is that the agreement?
Judge, that is the agreement. The probation says the next appointment for Mick Myoff is April the 19th, and we would like to get her out of jail the next day if that's possible.
All right, well, she's being evaluated for MIC Myoff, so if she is eligible for Myoff, then she'll be transferred to inpatient treatment. So the court will follow your agreement, deny the motion, alter and amend conditions to include MIC Myoff and the Tacoma evaluation. That's to occur while the defendant is in custody, and the defendant is to follow all recommendations of those evaluations. Is there anything else from either side?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Ferguson, on Ms. Bridget Adams, can I have a date to make sure that she is transferred where she needs to go and to make sure the evaluations are completed? And it's a MIC Myoff. Just one moment. Just one moment, Ms. Adams. As soon as we have that date, I'll give you the date. And this is going to be date, Mr. Ishimoto. It's not in the system, but I want to make sure that we stay on top of it.
Appreciate you, Judge. I've had patience in my pocket this morning.
Oh, well, I'm glad, people, and you should take it out when you need it. Sometimes people will keep the patient in their pocket. I'm like, no, take it out as needed.
Yes, ma'am, I do. Believe me, I do.
But it's a beautiful day today. We have some rain, so that means that we're going to have beautiful flowers in May.
Hope I'm out to see them.
Oh, we shall see. All right, so we're going to come back on May 16th. That date, Ms. Adams and Mr. Ishimoto, it's not going to appear in the system, but I'll put it on the docketing sheet. If I put it in the system, then they're not going to transfer. She needs to be transferred because they'll think she has a setting. All right, and Ms. Adams, I'm going to send you to a breakout room with probation, and probation is going to go over conditions with you. And so, Ms. Adams, if you'll go to breakout room number 3. And Mr. Ishimoto, you can go to 3 or you can be excused. And Rebecca, if you'll go to 3.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, if you can assign me to room 3.
I thought I did. Let me check. Yes, I signed you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Ms. Burke.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Yes.
I'm here for 2 reasons. First, I'm here to check to see whether Patricia Ann Bettis appeared via Zoom as we were directed by an email from Norma Ferguson.
I don't see her on the Zoom screen.
Okay, I emailed her that email. That's
Okay.
1. Number 2, I brought my client, Rodrick Wilson, to court with me this morning. He is in the jury box. We discovered last week that his misdemeanor assault cases have been lumped together and indicted as continuous family violence under cause number 2022 CR 2198. And we're here to be magistrated and have a bond set, please.
All right. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1 to confer with the state on a bond. I'm sorry. Let me see if I can move that person. So if you can go to breakout room number 1, Ms. Burke, and prosecutor will confer with you on a bond matter.
Thank you.
And that is family violence. Let me just make sure it's I put family violence. All right, if you'll go to number 1.
Thank you.
Knock, knock.
Okay. Okay. At least
Everyone, just give me a moment. Thanks. All right. Okay, Roosevelt on Jesse Garza.
Your Honor, we were set for a contested MTR this afternoon and conferring with Mr. Grimmer this morning. They believe they have a video of the offense. There's a new number 1, and they are trying to get that video from one of their witnesses. They have not received it yet.
All right, so then and that's Jesse Garza Martinez. We'll come back at 2 p.m. And if you want to hang around to see if they have the video, then.
I won't be ready for the MTR, Your Honor. They do have the video, but I won't be able to proceed on the MTR without being able to watch it before the hearing.
Oh, no, you'll be able to watch it before the hearing.
All right, Judge.
Understood, Judge. We're working on getting it in my possession, Judge. I'll keep working on that through lunch.
All right, thank you. Tim Roundtree, who do you have?
Your Honor, I have Enrique McGraw, and this is a plea, and we're ready to go forward. This was one that we started last week and then had to reset for today. And all the paperwork has already been signed, Judge.
Just one moment. John Robertson.
Your Honor, I've conferred. I got a new disc with some videos, surveillance videos from the DA's office, and need to get my client out to my office to confer with him. I'd like to see if we could get 30 days, and we should know where we're at by then.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Mr. Madison, can I have a 30-day reset? And so, Mr. Robertson, you have possession of the videos?
I do. And I think I've got everything. I need to go double check it on e-discovery, but I think we have everything now.
And has an offer been tendered?
Discussion of an offer is underway. I need to talk to my client first before we go into that. It's one of Joe Ray's cases and he wasn't here today, so.
All right, we'll come back on May 16th.
May 16th. Thank you, Your Honor.
You and your
Have a
client
good
are
day.
excused.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, and let me just find him on the docket.
He's on the recall, Judge.
Thank you. All right, Jackson Lindsay, and then we'll take up your case, Mr. Roundtree.
Judge, I've got, her name is Antoinette Garnica. She's in custody. We've got a deal worked out. It's an MTR.
All right, as soon as I receive that paperwork, I'll take that matter up.
Thank you.
And have you signed all the paperwork?
I haven't received paperwork yet.
All right, if you'll put that in the chat box to Ms. Ferguson.
I have. I'll wait. Thank you.
Thank you. And let me send you and your client to a breakout room. Let me find her. Antoinette Garza. All right, as soon as she appears on the Zoom screen, I'll take that up. All right, Roundtree, you have Mr. McGraw.
Good, Judge.
All right, who's the prosecutor on McGraw?
Judge, I can do it. This is Ryan.
Okay, and can you tell me, Mr. Roundtree, was the plea entered into or no?
Judge, I don't remember. I don't think that it was.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I don't see where I've written anything on the docketing sheet saying that he had entered a plea yet.
No, the reason we
If I
reset.
remember correctly, Judge, this is Ryan. If I remember correctly, we got to the part where we were discussing what was on the plea page, and then I think that parole issue came up, and I think we stopped there.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so we're back on the record in 2022 CR 2124, State of Texas versus Enrique McGraw. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Ryan Grimmer for the state of Texas.
For the defense?
Jim Roundtree.
And are you Mr. McGraw?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, this is a continuation of our previous hearing. Mr. Roundtree, did you have a chance to explain to your client the issues with the court running 2016 CR 8081 concurrent with this cause number?
I did, Judge. And I'd like to give you a little additional information. In conferring with my client afterwards, his parole has already been revoked. He just didn't have a contested hearing. He waived his hearing right. So therefore, he's already been revoked in these cases. So there's no issue with you running it concurrent.
All right. So, Mr. McGraw, then I want to go over the plea agreement with you again.
Yes, Your Honor.
You reviewed the plea bargain page with your attorney. You understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so according to the plea, the state is waiving the repeater enhancement allegation. Your punishment is assessed at 2 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. There are no applications. This will run concurrent with 2016 CR 8081, and the state is to dismiss county court cause number 674451. If your parole has not been revoked on cause number 2016 CR 8081, the court can only request that these cases run concurrently. The court cannot order that they run concurrent. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that to be the entirety of the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense is at the plea bargain agreement? We cannot hear you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Judge,
All right, Mr. Roundtree, is that the plea bargain agreement?
it is, Judge.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. McGraw, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
Or have not.
Then to the offense as charged and the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty, Your Honor.
All right. And further, so that the record is clear, the court previously had found that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. State, do you have any evidence to support the defendant's guilty plea?
We do, Judge. We would submit states 1 and all attachments to the court.
All right. Any
Objection.
objections?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. McGraw, I'm showing you what's entitled Waiving Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, I would ask that you would follow the plea agreement. And I would also let the court know that in the time that he's been in custody, he has been involved in other counseling options that were available to him.
All right, the court will follow your agreement, sentence you to 2 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine, time and money to run concurrent. This will run concurrent with cause number 2016 CR 8081. State will dismiss. County court cause number 674451. Court will give you credit for any time served. Is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. McGraw, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
I do understand. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. McGraw, good luck to you. We can go off the record. Mr. McGraw, you got to make some changes in your life. Don't be that person who spends the rest of your life in prison. You understand?
Understand, Your Honor.
And again, I haven't done any statistical analysis, so my statistical professor will be very upset with me. But what I've learned from people who drive intoxicated, usually they're just fine. They end up hitting somebody who's taking their children to soccer practice or whatever, and then they're crying about it. So if you're going to drink, then do not drive. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. McGraw.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Norma McGraw can go back. All right, Joseph Appellant. Kathleen Segovia. Oh, he's there. All right, Deborah Burke.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. I conferred with Michael Villarreal. He recommends a $15,000 bond for Rodrick Wilson, and we agree, of course.
All right, Mr. Roundtree, if you have nothing else with us, you're excused.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, to the court, could I see Mr. Roundtree, Mr. Rodrick Wilson? Good morning, Mr. Wilson.
Morning.
Mr. Wilson, I'm going to give you your magistrate's warnings. It's basically telling you what your rights are. I don't know any of the facts of your case, so I'm not here to tell you what the facts are. I can't say you're guilty or not guilty because I haven't received anything. The only thing I'm here to do is tell you what your rights are. You understand?
Yes.
All right, so you're charged with continuous violence against family. You have a right to remain silent. You have a right to hire an attorney. Ms. Burke, are you hired?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, you can have one appointed to you. If you want one appointed to you, you'll have to fill out under oath an application so that they can see if you are indigent or not. If you need help filling out that application, then the clerks will help you with that. You will be allowed a reasonable time to consult or speak with your attorney. You have a right to have your attorney present during any interview you may have with the state or police officers or peace officers. You have a right to terminate that interview at any time. You're not required to make a statement to anyone. However, if you do make a statement to someone, it may and can be used against you at trial or in any court proceeding. I see that this case has already been indicted, but you would have had a right to an examining trial. If you're a foreign national, you have a right to access your consulate. And do you wish to have an attorney appointed to you? Yes or no?
No.
Okay. All right, Mr. Wilson, what's going to end up happening is the deputies are going to give you this document to sign. And this document is so that you can, by signing it, you're admitting that I've gone over these rights with you and you understand them. Do you understand?
Yes.
It's not an admission to the facts of the case. It's just an admission that I've gone over the rights with you. You understand them. To the state, is there going to be any no contact orders?
Yes, Your Honor, we're asking that there be no contact with the victim. If you give me 1 second, I can provide the victim's name.
Okay.
Elizabeth Taylor, Your Honor.
Elizabeth Taylor?
That's his wife's ex-wife's name.
Okay. All right, is there anyone else other than Elizabeth Taylor to the state?
I don't think.
We just asked Elizabeth Taylor. We also have her name listed as Elizabeth Wilson. Just that name be reflected as well, so there's no confusion in the future.
Yes,
all right. Mr. Rodrick Wilson, along with the bond of $15,000, you're not to have any contact with Elizabeth Taylor or Elizabeth Wilson, the person who's the complainant in this case. Do you understand?
I do.
All right, here's the thing, Mr. Wilson. If you have any contact with Miss Taylor or Miss Wilson, what's going to end up happening, I'm going to be notified. And when I'm notified, you're going to be before me on a hearing. Don't let that happen. You understand?
I understand.
I'm sorry?
I understand.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on Mr. Rodrick Wilson, please? All right, we're going to come back on May 17th. At that time, defense, the state will make an offer. And if there is nothing else, you are excused.
May it please the court, I do have a question.
Yes.
He wants to post his bond here through the satellite office. Is there anything we should be aware of?
My understanding, the deputy is saying that there may be some issues with that, so they may just need to call down to see if they're still allowing that in satellite.
Okay. Thank you. We'll do that now.
You're welcome.
Okay, maybe excused.
Yes. All right, is there anyone else who's ready?
I'm ready, Judge. This is Robert Gebbia.
Yes.
I have Migdalia Salazar, and we were here today for a discovery compliance hearing.
Mhm.
Specifically, the CPS records were ordered to be tendered by the state to me by today.
Yes.
And I can tell you that I am in receipt of the CPS records.
All right, just one moment. Mr. Gebbia, are there any other outstanding discovery issues?
At this time, I am not aware of any outstanding discovery issues.
All right, has an offer been tendered?
No, I don't think an offer would be appropriate until I have the opportunity to review the CPS records so I can appropriately negotiate and confer.
All right, just one moment.
It's like
All right.
1,100 pages.
Ah, well, you will discover, and I know you already know this, usually with CPS records, of the 1,100, 40 of them are the records and the other is just duplicates. But Ms. Ferguson.
Right.
On
certainly a good reason to exclude them and their testimony.
Ms. Ferguson.
We can discuss that at a later date, though.
All right. Ms. Ferguson, on Ms. Salazar, can I have a reset date, please? 20 days. Can you make sure Norma gets the cause number for that? She's asking for it. And just one second. And where is your, there's your client. All right, we're going to come back on May 2nd.
Sounds good, Judge. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You and your client are excused.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, and Brenda, you know what I'm going to ask, right?
On the recall, Judge.
All right, and Rebecca, you said there's someone here for a compliance?
Yes, ma'am. Tiffany Jeffcoat.
How is she listed on the system, or is she in the courtroom?
She's in person in the courtroom, Judge.
All right. All right, to the courtroom, could I see Tiffany Jeffcoat, please? All right, Ms. Jeffcoat, let me see what is happening with your case. All right, Ms. Jeffcoat.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, here's the reason why you're here. You're here because you owe $40,000 in restitution. So what are you doing to pay that?
I'm paying monthly. I'm supposed to have 10,000 paid by June, and I've actually paid over my monthly payments to get it. But they're going to ask to have it extended, I believe,
because I can't obviously pay 40,000 by the end of my probation.
All right, Ms. Reyes?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make sure that she has the 10,000 paid when she's saying that she's gonna have it paid? And if there's an issue with that, just let the court know.
Okay.
And I'm gonna put something in the chat box for you, Ms. Reyes.
Yes, ma'am.
It's 15.
All right, so Ms. Jeffcoat, just make sure you follow through with that. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And you need to get a report together about, you know, what your bills are and your inability to pay. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, do you have any questions about anything?
No, ma'am.
All right, because you know, when you commit a crime, people want their money.
Yes, ma'am.
She said if it's on the.
Rebecca, do you need to speak with her?
She can see me. I'm in the courtroom, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Honor.
Yes. Probation will speak with you in the courtroom, Ms. Jeffcoat.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, are there other defense attorneys who are ready? And just so you know, I already have Mr. Allen and Mr. Castagnone on the screen. Is there anyone else?
Judge, this is Glenn Payne. I just need to speak with my client. He's a inmate right now.
What is your client's name?
Hakala.
All right, Mr. Hakala, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3. Mr. Payne, I'm going to send you to number 3. And everyone, just give me a moment. Let me sign this paperwork quickly. All right, Matthew Allen.
Yes, Judge, I need to speak to someone from, I believe, CTD on Kendrick Williams MTR.
Okay. All right, Matthew Allen, I'm going to place you in breakout room number 4.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Orlando Castagnone.
Good morning, Judge. I have an agreement with the state, and I need to be put in breakout room with Mr. Davis so we can go over the paperwork.
I'm sorry, who?
Roland Davis. Yes, Judge.
All right, Roland Davis, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2. Michael Sawyer, who do you have? Oh, you're on mute, Mr. Sawyer.
I'm muted now, Your Honor.
All right, who do you have?
I have Myron Matthews, case number 2021-9850.
Is it criminal trial division or family violence?
I think it's family, excuse me, Your Honor, family violence.
Okay, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 6.
Number 6, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Joseph Appelt?
Yes, Your Honor. I was going to request, with permission of the court, to recall this afternoon at 2 p.m. There's still some information I need to get, and I would like to get with your CLO, Rebecca. I'm told there's a recent TAP eval that I need to look at as well, if that
All
would
right.
please the court.
Okay, we will see you at 2 p.m.
Same Zoom information, Judge?
Yes,
Very well. Thank you, Judge.
you're welcome. Ms. Ferguson, if you can have Zunica back at 2. All right, Raymond Martinez.
Judge, I've confirmed with the state on all 3 cases, and we just need to approach the court when you're ready.
We are ready. Let's start with Joseph Ramirez.
Judge, he's before the court on a violation report.
Okay.
Officer Scott for Tony Sherman.
All right, to the clerks. Could I have a violation report on Joseph Ramirez, please? So while we wait for that, who is your next person?
Judge, on Mr. Hernandez, it's a motion to modify to allow him to return to a residence where he wants to live. Michelle was going to touch base with the complainant to make sure they had no objection. I don't know if she's had a chance to do that or not.
Judge, we've tried to reach out. We haven't had a chance to speak with her yet. If what Mr. Martinez is saying, that she's vacated, no longer living there, not an issue. I don't anticipate we're going to have a problem with defense's motion, but we did want to just reach out and talk to her beforehand.
Okay, and what's happening to the motion to revoke?
Judge, I think he has a new number 1 that hasn't been indicted yet. So I don't even know if we have a setting at this point.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Mr. David Hernandez, I need to have this set for a contested hearing. All right, we're going to come back on May 2nd. Mr. Hernandez, your contested hearing is going to be May 2nd. You'll need to appear in person in court on May 2nd at 2 p.m. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we will see you then at 2 p.m.
And Judge, can I check back with the court maybe in a day or so once the state has had a chance to take a position on the motion?
Yes. And then, Mr. Hernandez, you're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
And
All right,
Judge,
who's your other person? Rodriguez?
Mark Rodriguez, yes, Judge.
All right, what is happening with Mr. Rodriguez?
Judge, I filed a motion to withdraw on Mr. Rodriguez's case. We were set for trial I want to say just maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. And we were not able to resolve our issues. So I told him if we didn't get up for trial, obviously we were up, we would have gone and that would have been the end of it. But because it was rescheduled, I took that opportunity to file my motion to withdraw.
No, I mean, this is scheduled for jury trial on May 19th.
I understand that, Judge, because I didn't expect it to come that fast. Because we were just, like I said, a few weeks ago. But that's my dilemma, Judge. I'm seeking to withdraw. He's not objecting. And I know it's an old case, but he and I are not on the same page in terms of.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll keep Mr. Rodriguez, we're going to keep you on May 19th, and Mr. Martinez, I'll make a ruling on your motion on that day.
Judge, is it May or April?
I'm sorry, yes, April 19th.
Oh, okay, Judge.
All right. Mr. Rodriguez, you need to be in court on April 19th at 9 a.m. for jury trial. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
I cannot hear you.
Yes, yes, ma'am, I do understand.
All right, we'll see you for jury trial on that date.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Permission to approach, Your Honor.
Just one moment. To the clerks, could I please have the violation report on Joseph Ramirez?
Judge, I don't think there was a violation report filed on this defendant, Judge. We can't find one
So why is Mr. Ramirez here? Does anyone
because it
know?
was just a regular trial setting, Judge. Just on the docket, it's just a regular docket setting.
I may have misunderstood you. I thought they were bringing us in because of a violation, because I got a call from pretrial services. Now, we may have sorted it out with pretrial, but because they called me and then I got a setting, I thought the two were connected.
Okay. All right, because I don't have a copy of a violation report on Mr. Ramirez.
Well, and it may be that they told me that they were looking for him to sort out his reporting requirements and or testing. And then I communicated that to him and maybe he sorted that out. And maybe they decided not to file the violation. I'm not sure, but
Okay,
I
let me
wasn't
just
clear either. 'Cause I
double
couldn't
check.
find my copy either. I don't have a copy.
All right, then Joseph Ramirez, have you conferred with the state on Mr. Ramirez?
I did confer with Ryan about it, but he and I thought we were here on a violation report, not on a trial docket.
Yes, I'm going to send you to a breakout room so you can confer with them on the actual case.
Understood.
All right. And Mr. Rodriguez, you're excused. And Mr. Martinez, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 5.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and who wanted to speak with me?
That was me, Your Honor. I believe Mr. Villegas's paperwork is ready to go, and the court is still the state is still honoring the offer.
Okay. All right, who's the prosecutor on Villegas?
I am Michelle Hayden.
All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 2745, State of Texas versus Davis Alexander Villegas. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Michelle Hayden for the state.
for the defense?
Attorney Bill Simmons for defense.
Are you Mr. Villegas?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm Mr. Villegas.
All right, we're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
No objection.
Mr. Villegas, I'm going to show you a document entitled Defendant's Consent. Just one moment. I'm sorry, Mr. Simmons?
Yes,
I need
Your Honor.
a motion for him to consent to appear by video.
He just signed that, Judge. It's over. Signed that electronically, so the court should have.
Okay. All right, Mr. Villegas, did you sign a document entitled Defendant's Consent to appear by video? Did you review it with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am. I just sent it over to them right now.
My question is not whether you sent it over. My question
Yes,
is,
ma'am,
did
I
you review
understood
it with your attorney? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am. That's right.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video conference. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am. That's the one they were signing.
Showing you what's entitled Discovery Acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Villegas, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Your Honor, we're proceeding on the lesser included offense of assault, bodily injury, married cohabitating.
Any objections?
No objection.
Mr. Villegas, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of assault, bodily injury, married or cohabitation? That's a Class A misdemeanor. The range of punishment is anywhere up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
In my opinion, he does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
In my opinion, he was, Your Honor.
Mr. Villegas, has anyone threatened you, forced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of assault, bodily injury, married, or cohabitation. They're asking that your punishment be assessed at 1 year in the Bexar County Jail. There's a $750 fine. State recommends probation. There's an affirmative finding of family violence, $100 to an approved family violence center, PIPP. No contact with Hannah, HANNAH, Barnes, BARNES, and no firearm possession. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement, Mr. Villegas?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Villegas, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you
Yes, Your
understand
Honor.
it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
Just one moment, everyone, off the record. All right. I'm sorry, Brenda, where did we leave off?
Waiver of appeal.
All right, did you review that paragraph with your attorneys? Did you understand it and did you sign it in both places, Mr. Villegas?
Yes, ma'am, that was that, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor, I understood that.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Villegas, did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Can you repeat that one time?
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, ma'am.
Then knowing those things, do you still wish to go forward with the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, next I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 1 year, and there be 80 hours community service restitution. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offense of assault, bodily injury, married cohabitation, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
State offers State's Exhibit 1 and its attachments into evidence.
Any objections? Mr. Villegas, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it? Or I'm sorry, did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, we just pray the court follow the plea agreement that we've reached with the state judge.
All right, Mr. Villegas, do you have any children with Hannah Barnes?
No, Your Honor, I do not have no children and no communication with Hannah Barnes.
Well, I mean, of course not. You're at the Bexar County Jail right now. So this is what I want to let you know. She does not want you in her life anymore. Your relationship with her is over. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor, I understand it.
And what's with all these tattoos?
My
Tell
tattoos.
the truth. As I tell people, shame the devil, tell the truth.
Yes, ma'am. I will tell you honestly that I've been incarcerated since I was young. I lived a past life that you know, I have tattoos that represent my life and the life I've lived. I no longer want to be.
What does that mean? The life you've lived.
The life I lived is as a convict, a convicted criminal, but I no longer want to.
Nope, there's more that those tattoos mean.
Ma'am, it's only a meaning of my life. I do not want to get judged by my tattoos, and I do not want to get.
I'm not judging you by your tattoos, but I'm telling you right now, if there's gang membership, which I believe there is, you're going to be supervised by the gang division. So let's start over. I'm not judging you by your past, but if you are a gang member or former gang member, that limits some programs that I'm allowed to put you in. So you need to tell me the truth now.
I'm not a gang member. I used to be a gang member, but I've let that life go a long time ago. While I've been in the county jail, ma'am, I lost my dad. I'm trying to.
Okay, so what gang member were you formerly a member of?
Tango Orejon.
All right. So here's the thing. People will tell me all the time that they've changed. You were here and you did not show up for a plea on March 29th. So that tells me that you're still doing whatever you're doing. Because you had an agreement to appear on March 29th and you did not. That is why you're in custody. Now, this is what I tell people when they're going on in probation out of this court. Do not be dishonest with me, because guess what? I'm giving you conditions based upon what you're telling me. Now, I already know your gang membership based upon your tattoos. You can say that you no longer do that. That's fine. But do not come to me being dishonest, because at this point in time, the state is offering you probation. That's what you've bargained for. So I need to give you conditions so that you can be a better person and improve yourself. Now, whether or not you want to improve yourself, that's completely up to you. People do certain things while they're in custody. Usually they say they find Jesus. Some people actually do find Jesus and they better their lives. Some people just say that because they figure out, that's what I need to say. But I'm telling you right now, I'm going to give you conditions while you're on probation and you need to follow them. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor, I understand your conditions.
And one of them is Hannah Barnes doesn't want any relationship with you anymore. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor, I understand that.
Are you employed?
No, ma'am. At this time, I am currently sitting in the Bexar County Jail, but I am employed at Font's Tire Shop when I get out. Font's Tire Shop.
Do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am.
What are their ages?
9 and 10. I'm fighting well, I just got served yesterday for the kids were taken away from their mother. And that's why I'm really trying to get out. I'm trying to save my dad's estate at the same time. So, ma'am, when I'm telling you that I appreciate you giving me a second chance at life, I really do appreciate it. And I will show you that, you know what, that a person is not defined by what they've done before. It's about the person that they can become.
Well, let me just tell you something about people saying they're not defined before by their past. Your criminal history and what you've done in your past is like a credit report. So with your criminal history, if your criminal history were a credit report, nobody will finance anything for you. So right now, your trust level is at a negative, not even at zero, it's a negative. So you're going to have to start proving yourself. And do not go into your 7-year-old's and 10-year-old's life causing disruption, because up to this point, you have not been a father to them. Biologically, you're their father, but in essence, you have not been a father to them. You've been in prison, you've been doing your gang thing, which is fine. That's who you want to be. But don't bring that to your children's doorstep. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor, I totally understand it.
All right, I'm going to sentence you to a $750 fine. That'll be probated. 1 year in the Bexar County Jail, suspended and probated for 2 years. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. $100 to a family violence center. The BIPP course. No contact with Hannah Barnes. I'm going to want the UA hotline. No firearm possession. CPS compliance. Parenting classes with compadre y compadre.
Thank you, Your Honor.
80 hours of community service restitution. That will not be waived. Who are you going to be living with?
Myself.
All right, there's to be regular reporting by Zoom. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors.
Is that my children?
Yes.
Your Honor?
Yes.
And what?
On the specific agreement, I believe the agreement was for 1 year. So is the court saying that they're giving him two years of probation? I believe the agreement was for 1 year of probation, Judge.
No, that's outside your agreement, but he's going to be on probation for 2 years.
Mr. Villegas, do you understand that the court has decided to do the 2 years? Do you still want to move forward with that, Mr. Villegas?
Mr. Simmons, can we speak in the breakout room?
No, here's the thing, Mr. Villegas, that 1 year is outside your plea bargain agreement, so you're moving forward. So there's going to be proof of employment within 15 days of release. There's to be no employment with minors or as a home health care provider. I'm going to want field visits 3 times per month, random, and there's going to be gang supervision. Rebecca, is there anything else that he needs?
Yes, Your Honor. As mentioned before by my client, he does have this issue with his children, and his children, it may well be that he is the only adult that may need to take custody of them, given that they've been taken, they're in the process of being taken from the mother. So we would ask the court to, if the court would reconsider observing him on probation, but not putting in the provision that he can't, or at least amending the provision to say that he can't be with any minor children other than his own biological children.
Child Protective Services is not going to let him have unsupervised contact. He's like in custody at the Bexar County Jail, committed an assault, bodily injury, married cohabitation. He's told me he's been to prison before, and he's a former gang member. No CPS worker is going to allow him to have unsupervised contact with his children. What's going to end up happening is, once he proves himself by getting out of the Bexar County Jail and not testing positive for drugs, they'll let him have supervised visitation with a CPS officer, but they're not going to just, hey, here are your children. They're not going to do that, and they're definitely not going to do that with an affirmative finding of family violence.
Yes, Your Honor. Is that an issue, though, in terms of it being a condition, though? My understanding is that this is a condition of the probation. So is this a condition of probation that could be revisited if by some circumstance CPS or whichever other agency would be okay with him having unsupervised visitation with this?
I'm always open for reconsidering things.
Mr. Villegas, do you understand what we just said? We're basically saying that right now it would be, the court would be putting it in as a condition, and it would be for the duration of the probation. So for those 2 years, but if there is a situation where the authorities would want you to have the children, then we can come back to the court and ask the court to reconsider that provision of your probation at that time. Is that something, do you understand that? And more importantly, do you want to still move forward with the agreement?
I just got served yesterday, and they bring me the pamphlet and everything, serving me. All I am is this is concerning my children now, and to be giving custodian parent, the CPS has already told me as long as I come back with a clean and negative urinalysis, I will be able to proceed. I own the estate, so I'm
Mr. Villegas, here's the thing, Mr. Villegas, one, if you're indigent, you'll have an attorney represent you on the CPS side. Number two, I don't know what CPS is doing. Sometimes CPS does things that I don't understand, but I highly doubt that CPS is going to place your children out the gate with your criminal history, with the fact that you're a former gang member, with the fact that you have an assault, family violence on your history. So I'm going to order the gang supervision. Rebecca, is there anything else that he needs?
No, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Villegas, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. And because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And Your Honor, while we would, my understanding is my client would like to still move forward. Mr. Villegas, would you like to place an objection on the record to the probation condition of you not being able to be around any minors unsupervised? Would you like to object to that provision? But it's still going to be in there. Do you understand at this point?
I would still like the offer to stand, but I do object on that because I have no have.
That was the only question. And just to, Mr. Villegas, because we don't want to get into any, you don't want anything here used against you, any possible other proceedings.
Yes, sir.
But Your Honor, we just like to place that, so we understand that provision still stands, but we just have it on the record that he's objecting to it.
All right, objection is noted. I'll send you to a breakout room. Probation will go over conditions with you. We can go off the record. And Mr. Villegas, You probably should focus on your relationship with your children and not proceed in any adult relationships because you're not ready for that. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Your Honor, for the advice.
Well, I mean, I'm giving advice, but whether you take it or not, that's completely up to you. You should, but we'll see what happens.
Okay. Thank you.
All right,
Your
I'm
Honor.
going to send you to breakout room number 1. Mr. Simmons, you can go to number 1. Probation will meet you there.
Judge, are you ready for me to go in there now, or are we gonna take another case?
You can go in there now.
Okay, thank you.
Are we excused from the room, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you, Your
All
Honor.
right, Mr. Cox.
Yes, Judge, I have John Henry Coleman Jr. I think it's it.
Criminal trial division or family violence?
Criminal trial.
All right, Mr. Cox.
The NPR.
All right, Mr. Cox, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2.
Thank you, Judge. It's a pleasure.
You're welcome. Let me see. Michael Sawyer.
Breakout room with a prosecutor and Gabriel Patlan, and there's a criminal trial division, Your Honor.
All right, and so have you already spoken to a prosecutor, or you need to speak to a prosecutor?
I need to speak to one. That's what I was waiting on.
Okay.
Already spoken.
All right, is it Patlan criminal trial division or family violence?
It's criminal trial division.
I'm going to send you to number 4. All right, Sharon Thorne.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm checking to see whether or not my client showed up in court. He told me he was outside the building the last time I had a phone call with him. And if he is, that would be Jose Guadalupe Garcia. I need to confer with him about a plea offer, and then I would ask for a short reset.
All right, to the court, is there Jose Garcia in the courtroom? Oh, it appears that he is in the courtroom. Courtroom, if you could go to breakout room number 5, please. And Ms. Thorne, I'll send you to number 5.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, Jackson Lindsay.
Judge, I've got Antoinette Garnica. We've got the paperwork ready to go.
All right, as soon as they give it to me, I will take that up.
Thank
And to
you.
the courtroom, could you go to breakout room number 1 with Mr. number 5 with Mr. Garcia?
Judge, there's something going on in the room in here. That bailiff's not in the courtroom.
All right, just give me a moment.
As soon as they come out, I'll let them know.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Raymond Martinez.
Judge, the state and I have conferred on Mr. Ramirez. We do not have a plea agreement.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a trial date on Mr. Ramirez, please?
Give me 1 second, Judge.
Thank you. John's iPhone, the person who's driving, can you unmute for me, please?
Hello,
Hi, Mr. What's your name?
Mr. Coleman.
All right, Mr. Coleman, if you could take your vehicle, be sure to drive it to 300 De La Rosa. The courtroom is located at 300 De La Rosa on the 4th floor, so we'll see you there. All right, Mr. Martinez.
Yes, Judge.
On Mr. Ramirez, he's going to be recalled for jury trial on July 5th. Mr. Ramirez, you need to appear in person in the 187th District Court on July 5th for jury trial. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
All right, your plea deadline has expired. The court will not accept any plea bargain agreements after today. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You're excused.
Judge, I'm going to be filing a motion to sever his offenses. Does that need to be heard before July the 5th?
Yes, we can hear it before July 5th.
I'll get with Ms. Ferguson about that, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. You can log off, Mr. Ramirez.
Okay, thank you.
Norma, I'm gonna put something in the chat box with you. All right, and who are the parties? John Kuntz, and then after that, we'll take up Garnica.
Hey, Judge, were you saying my name? I'm sorry.
Yes, we're gonna take this up and then we'll take up Antoinette.
Oh, no, I don't know. I have a plea.
Okay, as soon as
I don't know who
have that-
Antoinette is. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
I
sure
said we'll take up your matter, then Antoinette Garnica, but
Oh, okay.
I'm waiting on the plea paperwork to come to me for you. Jackson Lindsay. All right, Anthony Cantrell.
Judge, I need to speak to family violence prosecutor on Monique Riley Williams.
All right, and Mr. Cantrell, we're getting feedback because you're on Zoom in the courtroom. If you go to the back, that would make it easier. And I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3.
Thank you.
All right, Galaxy 813, who's walking around. What is your name?
That's Ms. Zuniga, Your Honor. That's
Where is she walking to inappropriately dressed on court?
She is walking to the school. She got a call from school that there was her child had some kind of accident. So she was walking over there. She'd finished the paperwork on the plea, although I think we're waiting for some more from Ms. Ferguson, but we finished the state's paperwork and we're just waiting to take the plea. And then she got a call from the school that they wanted her to come over. So she started walking over. I didn't realize it, but I just discovered that myself.
Okay, who's speaking?
Brian Kimbrough, Your Honor. Sorry.
All right, Brian, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 6 to the clerks. If you could go to number 6 and make sure she has her paperwork. And then if need be, we can recall it for this afternoon, Mr. Kimbrough.
Okay, thank you.
And they'll let you know whatever paperwork they're missing. All right, who are the prosecutors on Garnica?
Michelle Hayden, Your Honor.
All right, what is happening with the new case?
We'll be dismissing that one, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, the court is going to call 2020 CR 0679. Again, that's 2020 CR 0679, State of Texas versus Antoinette Garnica. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Michelle Hayden for the state.
For the defense?
Jackson Lindsay on behalf of Antoinette Garnica, Judge. We're ready to proceed.
All right. And are you Miss Garnica?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
All right, we're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
None.
Ms. Garnica, I'm showing you what's entitled defendants consent to appear by video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor, I sure did.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Are you the same Antoinette Brianna Garnica who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2020 CR 0679 for the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon on July 23rd, 2021 for a period of 6 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am, that is.
All right, state.
Violated condition number 1. On or about the 4th day of March 2022 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Antoinette Brianna Garnica committed the offense of failure to ID to police officer in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead? Is that true or not true?
I plead to it true.
State.
We're waiving the other allegations.
Any
No.
objections to the state's waiver?
No.
All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1?
No, Your Honor, I would like to plead not true.
Okay. All right, Ms. Fergus, can you set this for a contested hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're going to come back on May 5th for a contested hearing. And that will be at 2 p.m. All right, Norma, you can let them know that L25 Garnica can go back. All right, who's on Roland Davis?
I am judge, and Mr. Groomer is the prosecutor that I work
Okay,
with.
who's saying I am?
It's Orlando Castañon.
All right. Roland Davis?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Davis?
Yes, Your Honor.
I don't know why I have to keep repeating this, but this is going to be the last time I'm going to repeat this for you. When you are on Zoom, you are not allowed to have your video go dark. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If that happens again, what's going to end up happening is you're going to be required to appear in person in court. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court is calling 2020 CR 10708, State of Texas versus Roland Davis. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Ryan Groomer for the state of Texas.
for the defense?
Orlando Castañon for defense.
And are you Mr. Davis?
Yes, Your Honor.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
None from the state, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Judge.
Mr. Davis, I'm showing you what's entitled defendant's consent to appear by video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Judge.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Davis, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand? Just one second. I am so sorry, Brenna. All right, I'm going to show you the document entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Judge, I believe there's just a single count of, as the indictment is charged, an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
Yes. Mr. Davis, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it at all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon? That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Judge.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I believe so.
Mr. Davis, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Next, I'm going to show you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, there's to be a $1,500 fine probated. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. State recommends deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Judge.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, are there been any such motions?
No, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 5 years. There'll be a top evaluation, 150 hours of community service restitution, no contact with Thomas Minx, M-I-N-X, Gillinger, G-I-L-L-I-N-G-E-R, and Betty Jean Gonzalez, G-O-N-Z-A-L-E-S. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offense is charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence to support his plea?
Yes, Judge. State would offer State's Exhibit number 1 and all attachments.
No objections, Judge.
Mr. Davis, I'm showing you what's entitled Waiving Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it? And all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on your client's behalf?
Just that he has no felony convictions, Judge, and we ask that you follow this plea agreement.
All right, Mr. Davis, you want to tell the court what tax means to you?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that, Your Honor?
What does the word tax, T-A-X, mean to you?
We gotta pay the IRS taxes, I know that much.
Well, it says here, Roland began to question Thomas about the $50 Roland says Thomas owes him. Thomas says he does not owe Roland any money. Thomas described the money Roland said he owes him as a tax. So last I checked, I don't know anyone whose tax bill is just $50. So what's this tax business?
I have no clues, Your Honor. I was just trying to get my bikes back and the other one that they were trying to take.
Yeah, so why did you resort to bringing a gun with you if you're just trying to get your bike back?
We were there in a friend's apartment. All I was doing was fighting them off.
Are you employed?
I am right
That's
now
either yes
seeking
or no.
employment with the job coach. Oh, no, Your Honor.
When's the last time you had a job, a real job where you received a paycheck, where you ended up with a W-2 form? When's the last time?
Okay, with no W-2, I have a 1099 with Aloha Kitchen.
Doing what?
I'm their chef.
So when's the last time you did that?
For Aloha Fest, which was this past weekend.
All right, do you have any children?
Yes, I have 3 children. I'm single parenting on my own.
What are their ages?
I have my 12-year-old who's at school right now, my 2-year-old, and my 7-month-year-old.
All right, Child Protective Services is not involved in this case?
No, Your Honor. I had completed several programs in jail and outside of jail. And they basically asked me if I wanted services, and I declined. And so they had no further issues with me.
So Child Protective Services was involved?
They were involved with the father of my now adopted daughter, because he was a child molester. And so, but they closed the case.
If I could, while Mr. Davis was in custody, and shortly after his release, his wife was involved with CPS. She died, and Mr. Davis has taken over custody of all the children.
So what parenting classes did you take, Mr. Davis?
Triple H at the Haven for Hope.
Okay.
They just also placed us into our own home here at the Alazan Apache Homes.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. 5 years to, I'm sorry, Rebecca, this is cause number 2020 CR 10703, Roland Davis. Court is going to sentence you to a $1,500 fine, probated, 5 years deferred adjudication, 150 hours of community service restitution. 40 of those will be waived if you provide proof of COVID vaccination. Court is not requiring you to do the COVID vaccination, but if you do the COVID vaccination, 40 of those hours will be waived. Proof of employment within 15 days, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. So if you can't report by Zoom, it has to be in person. Anger management. You must complete the anger management class. If you complete anger management, the court will waive the remaining of your community service hours. There's to be no contact with Thomas, Thomas, Minx, Minx, Gillinger, Gillinger, and Betty, Betty, Jean, Jean, Gonzalez, Gonzales. There's to be regular UAs or patch, field visits, 1 time per month, random. Rebecca, is there anything else that he needs?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Davis, is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'm gonna show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. Good luck to you, Mr. Davis. Mr. Davis, I'm going to ask that you remain on screen. Mr. Castellon, you can be excused.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good day.
Thank you. And Mr. Davis, I don't want you to leave until probation goes over conditions with you. Who are the parties on Emanuel Martinez?
Hey, Judge, we're present. We're ready.
All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 9658, State of Texas versus Emanuel Martinez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Michael Villarreal for the state.
For the defense?
John Kuntz for Mr. Martinez.
And are you Mr. Martinez?
Yes, Your Honor.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
None from the state, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Judge, we've signed the consent.
Mr. Martinez, I'm showing you what's entitled defendant's consent to appear by video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled application for community supervision or deferred adjudication. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
I did, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
We have, Your Honor, just a week or so ago in the courtroom. We went over it.
All right, the court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Martinez, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Why do I keep doing that, Brenna? I'm sorry. That's just the True Bill of Indictment. It's what you're charged with. It's giving you notice of that. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
I did, yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Your Honor. State's proceeding on the lesser included offense of indecency with a child by exposure.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor, we're very grateful.
Mr. Martinez, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of indecency with the child by exposure? That's a 3rd-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
I did.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
I did, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement to this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that the court would grant your application for deferred adjudication? If for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am. I do understand.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Judge, we've had a number of discussions and about all sorts of things. Yes.
All right. Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Very much so.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes and yes.
Mr. Martinez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Very much. Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am. I did.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on the less included offense of indecency with a child by exposure. Punishment is to be assessed at 8 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. There's no application for community supervision. State opposes your application for deferred adjudication. There's to be no contact with Emmalyn, Emmalyn, Balzadua, Bazaldua, and there's to be Chapter 62 registration. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement, Mr. Martinez?
Yes, ma'am.
State and defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Judge, it is.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
I did. Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can't be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, there have not, Your Honor.
Then to the offense, well, the lesser included offense of indecency with a child by exposure. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea.
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, State offers State's Exhibit number 1 its attachments.
We've reviewed them and have no objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Martinez, I'm showing you what's entitled Wavering Consenting Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same.
Yeah.
We had it.
All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. This will be brought back on May 19th for sentencing. The court will base its decision on your application on the PSI report and any other evidence that's submitted to me. State defense, do you all anticipate any witnesses?
I don't anticipate any witnesses at this point, Your Honor.
Judge, we may have some family members. Will this be in person or on Zoom? I'm sorry.
It can be on Zoom if you have no objections to it being on Zoom.
Okay.
All right, and Mr. Coots, how many witnesses do you expect to have, and how long do you think that will take so we can determine whether or not this should be set in the afternoon or not?
Judge, I would think no more than 63 witnesses, maybe 60, maybe 62. I can narrow it down.
You always bring joy.
Judge, I would think of a couple of family members probably, and we haven't gone over exactly who, but I would say maybe half an hour, 45 minutes for the PSI.
All right, so that'll be at 2 p.m. And
Okay.
Mr. Coots, if you do wish to call 62 witness, then what we will do is we will have this on Saturday morning. I know no one here will object to that. All right, is there a need for a TAP evaluation?
No, there's no indication of any drug or alcohol history with my client.
All right, then, Mr. Martinez, I'm going to send you to a breakout room just shortly. Mr. Coots, you can be excused.
Excuse me, Judge.
Yes.
I have received notice from PSI that they were requesting that PSIs, if a PSI is needed, that it be set in mid-June. They're way behind.
All right, Mr. Coots, they're giving me a June date.
Wow.
I mean, here's the thing, Rebecca, the only thing I need to know on this PSI report is like, you know, what is the criminal history? I've read the police report and it'll be whatever evidence Mr. Kuntz wants to present. He's stating that he doesn't need a TAP evaluation. So is it still in June?
I will go ahead and let them know and see if I think that might help.
Okay. All right, so we'll keep it for May 19th. Mr. Martinez, if something happens and they can't do it by that date, we'll of course let you and your attorney know.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And Mr. Kuntz, if you want to stay until probation goes in the breakout room, with him, you can. I have one more plea to take up before I send him to the breakout room with probation.
I need to check in with another court, Judge, if that's okay. Manuel, I'll talk to you soon and I'll call your mom, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right, who are the parties on Hakala? Hakala,
This is Glenn Payne, Your Honor.
I can handle it, Judge.
thank you. And this will be the last one, Brenda, before we take our break. Court is calling 2022 CR 3037, State of Texas versus Eric Christian Hakala. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Michael Villarreal for the state.
For the
Glenn Payne for
defense?
the defense. Glenn Payne.
And are you Mr. Hakala?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
None from the state, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
None, Your Honor.
Mr. Hakala, I'm going to show you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video Conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your
And did you
Honor.
electronically sign it?
Yes.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Hakala, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
I believe so, Your Honor.
Oh, let me check. Thank you. Yes, it appears that you are. Thank you. All right, Mr. Hakala, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with assault family second offense? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes.
Did you understand that the court would grant your application for deferred adjudication? If for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, not grant you community supervision, and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, I understand, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
He has, Your Honor. We
Do you
discussed
believe he has-
the.
I'm sorry. Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
In my opinion, yes.
Mr. Hakala, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Next, I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, there's a $1,000 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication, inpatient treatment, or whatever TAP or probation suggests, a MIC evaluation, the BIPP course, permanent finding of family violence, UAs, no contact with Pamela Mercado, and parenting classes.
Judge, if I may,
Yes.
I spoke to Ms. Hayden before she went out. We were changing the no contact order from a no to a no harmful or injurious contact.
All right, we can place that outside the plea bargain agreement because before I rule one way or the other, whether there's to be no contact or contact, the court has to see certain things. So is that outside the agreement, Mr. Villarreal?
I believe so. Based on my messaging with Ms. Hayden, we weren't able to contact the victim to confirm that information.
Okay. Any objections to the court changing that in the plea bargain agreement state?
Not from the state.
Defense?
None from the defense.
Mr. Hakala, any objections?
No, Your Honor.
All right, did you understand with the affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that to be the entirety of your plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Hakala, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you what's outside the plea bargain agreement. State is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 5 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 120 hours of community service restitution, no harmful or injurious contact with Pamela Mercado. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offense as charged in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest, Your Honor.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, state offers states exhibit number 1 and its attachments.
Any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Hakala, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it at all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Have the court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yeah, I'm just on Mr. Hakala's behalf. He's asked, he knows he's going to need some type of drug treatment. He's actively seeking that treatment. So we ask the court to follow this recommendation.
All right, Mr. Hakala, do you have any children?
Yes, Your Honor.
What are their ages?
I have a daughter that's 13 and a son that's 15.
All right, and where are they staying?
I'm staying with my wife, Pamela Mercado.
Okay. Is Child Protective Services involved?
No, ma'am.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. I'm sorry, one other question. What is your drug of choice, Mr. Hakala? What drugs have you been using?
I started using crystal meth. My son passed away 7 years ago, and I chose it as an alternative to deal with my problems, and it was the wrong one.
All right, there's going to be a $1,000 fine probated, 5 years deferred adjudication, parenting classes, and we'll do the T3 or P3, whatever it's called, Rebecca. We'll start him off with ISF, substance abuse track. And is this the only, I guess, is there any, I'm assuming there's no felony criminal history, is there, Mr. Payne?
Judge, from what I understand, there's one charge about 15 years ago. Was it a drug charge, Mr. Hakala, in Illinois?
Yes, it was a cocaine charge.
All right, we can refer him to felony drug court as well, Ms. Reyes. So let's see what felony drug court says. If they don't, then it'll be ISF, substantive abuse track. And he's to remain in custody until transferred or accepted. There's to be proof of employment within 30 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. The BIPP course, there's an affirmative finding of family violence. 120 hours community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination. Court is not requiring you to obtain the COVID vaccination, but if you do, 40 of those hours will be waived. The remaining of those hours will be waived if you complete parenting classes, and you must complete parenting classes. There's to be regular Zoom reporting or in person upon release. We'll do the UA hotline once he's released. And all of these conditions, Mr. Hakala, if you're accepted to felony drug court, which if you're honest, you should be accepted, they will set your conditions, not this court, because your case will be transferred to felony drug court. So we'll do the UA hotline, field visits,
Okay.
2 times per month, random. And there's to be no contact with Pamela Mercado. Mr. Hakala, if Ms. Mercado decides that she wants to have contact with you and your attorney makes the court aware and she presents herself, then the court will reconsider. But for now, it's to be no contact. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Rebecca, is there anything else he needs?
So Judge, are we not doing the mental health evaluation?
Yes, we'll do the Mickey Val as well. And that will be while in custody. Mr. Collins, is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, I thank you for your kindness, ma'am.
All right, you're welcome. Mr. Collins, showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, because this is plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. And also because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to your attorney. Do you understand?
I understand.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Mr. Hakala, can I have a phantom setting date for us to come back just to make sure that everything is taking place properly? Let's see what date. All right, we're going to come back on May 16th, and that's just to make sure that you are on track to go to whatever facility you should go to, Mr. Hakala.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, you're welcome. Ms. DeMoss, you are excused. We will see you back at 2 o'clock. And thank you. I know I was talking fast at the end.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Mr. Hakala, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. And probation will meet you there and go over conditions.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And Mr. Davis and Mr. Martinez, I'm going to send you to number 1 as well.
Judge, can you also send Ms. Settles in as well?
Yes. And let me find Ms. Settles. Okay. All right, Mr. Hakala, if you'll go to 1, please. And Mr. Emanuel Martinez, if you'll go to 1.
I have to grab an officer real quick, ma'am.
All right, sure. Well, Mr. Hakala,